Hey team, so this is a one take strategic partnerships. How many people are you reaching right now? So, as a business owner or a marketing lead, how many businesses, how many people, how many customers are you able to reach? Right, I just want you to think about that question and start to think, well, how do we maximize that? Not only do how do we maximize that, but how do we make it more people, right? How do we reach more people with less effort? Right? This is what we're trying to do all the time as we elevate our roles, especially as business owners, trying to reach more people, help and support more people with our great product or service. And the answer is simple. The execution is a little bit more tricky, but the answer is leverage. How are you leveraging your time? How are you leveraging your investment into marketing? How are you leveraging your people, your systems, everything that's inside your business? We need to leverage that. This session today, this quick video is just going to give you some tools, tactics, and things to think about, and there'll be more on this subject as we move forward. So the idea is simple: leverage. Let me give you some tools to actually achieve that. So when we think about strategic partners, have a look at these guys. Strategic partners is not something that we just execute at SME, kind of smaller business level. It's happening right at the top of the game, right? With some of the biggest companies in the world. Spotify and Starbucks created a partnership in 2015, still going strong today. Apple and Nike, they created a partnership years ago, over 20 years ago, still going strong today. Amazon and Whole Foods created a partnership, which actually resulted in Amazon acquiring Whole Foods and getting over 120 stores overnight. But they're just some of the kind of tasters, if you like, of the strategic partnerships that are happening right at the very top of business. So if we kind of come back down to our reality a little bit, it's about how can you create more strategic partners? How can you go out there and leverage the opportunity, which quite often is on your doorstep, right? So this is a marketing playbook specifically focused at strategic partnerships. From us, the Founders Framework, and myself, Phil Ball Coaching, I want to take you through this. Now, why do I work with people like you? It's quite simple, really. You're good at taking ownership. You don't make excuses. You're 100% control of your actions, your time, and what you do with your time. And ultimately, you are 100% responsible of the success of the business, whether that's in your role or whether you are the business owner. Okay, so let's set the scene. There's 5 million business owners, give or take, in the UK. 99% of them employ less than 10 people. What happens in those businesses? What is the structure that quite often we need to think about right at the very beginning, just to set the scene for us? We have the managing director in at the top. They're usually inside the operations, making sure that that customer service is being delivered all the time, every single day. And it's really, really important that we send some invoices or get some money for that exchange, right? Because that is the fundamentals, or two fundamental areas of business, but we mustn't forget the other pillars. The next one is, if you want more customers in your business, then you need to be having more sales conversations, or people need to be seeing more of your product or service. We then start to think about hiring team members and getting great people in to support us in leveraging our business. But ultimately, one of the biggest secrets is marketing. And lots of us do it. Some of us do it really well. Some of us are kind of figuring out what the path is right for us. But again, today we're focused in that marketing area. So here's what I see in a lot of businesses. Usually, majority of businesses that I've worked with have not quite had a clear marketing and sales plan. Okay, so we're now gonna go into that zone, a little bit deeper into that zone, and especially into marketing. So hopefully that gives you an idea of exactly where we are. We're not talking about team, we're not talking about finance, we're not talking about the operations, the customer journey, and all that good stuff today. We are talking about marketing, specifically in the strategic partnership area. Okay, inside marketing, most businesses will invest 1 to 3% of their annual turnover. If that's £100,000, it's between £1 to £3,000. If we would like to grow, which I assume you're on this call today listening and watching and taking a few notes, then you definitely are in that zone if you want to grow. So we have to be prepared to invest at least 10 to 15% in our marketing. Let's keep it round numbers. If we call that £100,000 business, that's 10 to 15,000 pounds, which in the first breath might seem like a lot for some of us that have been in that 1 to 3% zone, but that's okay, because again, we talk about leverage. We talk about the little actions that we can take that make a huge impact. Let's go to a little bit more detail. Let's call it 12%. That means we're investing about £12,000. Where would I begin my investment if I was starting a business tomorrow and saying, right, I need to create a marketing plan which is going to give us a really nice fast return. We think about all the great marketing activity we can do. I would definitely have this strategy in the mix. Okay, so if you want a little bit more detail on the UK marketing strategies at the moment, what's working, attention seeking behavior, how we're actually grabbing people to look at our product service, I've created a little document there, which you'll see in the description too. Now, I had a client recently that runs a fantastic business in the psychology, mental health, well-being space. And this was how we pitched it to them. Would it be beneficial to you as a business owner if we had a 45-minute coffee and it was worth well over £100,000 over the next 3 years? Well, straight away you're thinking, yeah, that's quite simple to say. Well, that is leverage in action, team, right? If we get those meetings, if we build those relationships with those great strategic partners, then referrals and clients start to drop into our funnel. And you can see there that if it's 36 clients at 150 a session, 6 sessions of an average of 32k per year, one relationship is giving us about £97,000, which is pretty cool for one meeting. Now, we might not be at one meeting right at the beginning. It's okay to have 2 or 3 meetings with strategic partners, maybe even 3 or 4 if you're still figuring out the best fit and best format. That's okay, but you are on the road to leveraging your business. Okay, so let's dive in a little bit deeper then. So we've got your marketing funnel. Right at the top, we are attracting people in. This section is specifically focused to strategic partners. It's somewhere up there. I don't do loads of these. So it's in there, right? Strategic partnerships. Where do we start? This is where we start. We list a whole bunch of top referrers, right? So this is for one of my clients, and they've got, as I mentioned, a clinical business, and great strategic partners for them are GP practices that can mention us if a client or a potential client is in need of the services that we provide. Family solicitors, local HR people, schools, and different school companies that work with schools and those people and families that are going through those situations that would require the services. Apologies. Physiotherapists, funeral directors, financial advisors, personal trainers, nutritionists. And this is a two-way partnership, team. So if they come through our business, they can go into one of these businesses. Or if they're going through their business, they can naturally sync into ours. It is a two-way street, right? So you get your top list of 10 together. You can use various different kind of Claude, ChatGPT. There's loads of really good tools out there that I suggest you use to help you build this, and also use the templates and worksheets that I've created. Then I've got a very, very simple 7-stage process. Now, the average time in B2B sales, which is this business to another business kind of sales process, is about 18 months. So don't expect this to be a click, email, sit in a meeting and job done. This is about meeting a couple of times, 2 or 3 times, in fact, to build the right case for each other, to build the right business plan for each other, to make sure that we've got the relationship. So let me talk you through this process. Identify the key strategic partners for you. Who would be a great strategic partner network for you and your business and the products that you service? Let me tell you now, every single business has the opportunity to build strategic partners. Okay, we research and personalize the messaging. So that is to ensure that the offer of becoming a strategic partner is really, really clear, and our intentions are super, super clear. I'll take you through some outreach and opening door techniques in just a second. But then we get the coffee meeting. Then we get the small meeting, which can be a coffee in your local cafe. It can be popping into their business to see how they work, see how they operate. Then we need to build a relationship. There is a science behind building a B2B relationship. We'll go through a lot more of that in more videos to come. There is a science to building trust, not only with your customers, but with other strategic partners. Then we create a really clear referral pathway, and that is people coming into our business. And just like I said before, clients going over to their business. So we had an example on this, and it might be that somebody has received a period of 12 weeks or even 12 months of treatment, and now they're thinking, well, I want to get a bit fitter. Where are the personal trainers that we can link into and synchronize into, so it just becomes a seamless experience for the customer. Then lastly, but very, very importantly, we activate, nurture, and scale. And we all know that a good nurture journey requires communication, it requires visibility, it requires stories, and it requires constant evolvement over time to develop the opportunities. What can we do? How can we add more value to people's day? How can we make this an unforgettable experience? You can do it in any business, like I've said before. So today we're just diving into one area, and that area is how we're going to outreach to different organizations. How are we going to do it a little bit differently? So let's just call out a couple of these. Connect with people on LinkedIn. There's some fantastic tools that can automate this process for us. It could be providing CPD accredited lunch and learns for the network, so we can help train and develop them on what we currently do and the professionalization of our service. We've got a handwritten note to introduce your clients. Such an underrated technique, but so many of our clients use it. It's really, really powerful. I advise you look into it. What else have we got? Share monthly well-being tips. Right, this again is for clinics. Like, there are buckets and buckets of information on here, team. All you got to do is pick 5 or 6 and make a start. So what happens then? Well, we've skipped a couple of sections here, which I will go into detail another time, but it's a conversation. Let's take all the steam out of this. This is not sales. This is creating long-term partnerships. This is a triple win. A win for us because we've got access to more clients, more opportunity, more businesses. A win for them because they can add a service in. They can provide more excellence as their business. And it's a win for our clients as well, because they're getting access to more products and services that they need, or they might not know they need right now, but end up needing. So it is just a conversation. It is a discovery conversation to find out what the next steps are. So what else have I got in here? I've got an opener. I suggest you pause this, take it in. This is how we set up the meeting. It's called positioning. It's to ensure that we have a really effective meeting with the people that we meet. Then we're surfacing the frustrations. What makes us feel uncomfortable? What gets frustrating? They might have already referred to somebody like you, but that person has now retired. They've moved on. They've changed careers. They're no longer doing it. There's always a reason why it might not be happening. They might already have a strategic partner in place for that particular product or service. Absolutely fine. If they do all the products that you do and all the services you do, then you can shake their hand, say it's lovely to meet you, and move on to the next one. Okay, so the general meeting, we'll find out exactly what's happened before and what do they want to do in the future. Do they want to grow? Are they open to new ideas? Do they have a growth mindset? Are they looking to impact more people, to add more value to people's day? If they are, they're a great fit for a strategic partnership conversation. In this meeting, team, we are discovering, we are finding out more information. That means that you keep your mouth shut and you ask the questions and you listen. You listen for the clues to help you move the meeting forward. Then finally, we're looking to close. Now, in that first conversation, as business owners, certainly as business owners and busy, high-performing people in roles in marketing, we will be solution orientated. We will want to come up with the answers. We'll want to solve the puzzle right away. I'm advising that we actually take the steam out of it a little bit. We say, look, I'm going to go away and I'm going to think of the top 3 or 4 things that we can really add value to your clients right now. You can also do the same, but I'll also think about how you could add some serious value to my clients, my customers, the people in my network. And then we can come back and we can share some more strategic ideas that have taken a little bit more time to grow and develop as we've thought about it. See, if we try and solutionize in that 10 minutes we're speaking with them, quite often we'll come up with 10 ideas and we won't actually execute any of them. So what we want to do in this process is probably come up with 3 or 4 and whittle it down to when we've got 2, maybe 3 options. Then we can discuss them. This is my top tip. Make sure you agree the next date. Even if it gets chucked down the road, make sure you agree the next meeting. Okay, that's what I've got today. I've also got a whole map on how you might hire somebody in a role to complete this for you as a business owner or a team member that wants to hire an assistant to activate this new channel. I've got a whole package on that. You just got to get into the notes. You can download it there. And then you leave with 3 things, right? One is this word leverage. How do you leverage your business right now? How do you leverage your time, your investment, your ability to market to lots of people? Yes, we've got social media. Yes, we've got Meta ads. Yes, we've got Google ads. These are all great leverages. This one is free. It takes your time and can have huge results. The next one is it's all about having conversations. And finally, one KPI or objective and key result for you right now, I task you is to do 3 conversations per day. 3 reach outs, 3 messages, 3 DMs, whatever it is, you do 3 per day. I'm going to leave you with this. This is my reading list. And all 3 of these people are great. The first one is Donald Miller. He talks about you as the guide going through your organization, helping them find their own solutions, and your organization and your brand being that vehicle to do that. Marcus Sheridan gives you 7 top tips to get started with videos, help guides, and it's a real strategic mapping book. And then the last one, very high level, Seth Godin talks about starting with your tribe. Just start with the first 200 people in your organization. Don't try and market to 2 million people overnight. Think about the first 200 and grow from there. Team, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you for listening. Please like, share, pass this over to somebody right now who you think might be thinking, oh, I want to get started with marketing, but I'm not quite sure how. And yeah, please add your thoughts in the comments. I really look forward to growing and finding out more about your business as we go on. Bye-bye for now.